Good evening. Today is February 17th. S&P 500 sold off this morning and tested 39 level twice and recovered the loss by the end of the closing day. And we closed around 39.27, practically unchanged from yesterday. Nasdaq was down 72 points. And gold had another down day after breaking 1800 level yesterday, as the new digital gold, Bitcoin, made new highs of 52,500. Oil was up 2% today as blackouts continued in Texas. And this really showed how unprepared our grid is for the influx of potential electric vehicles, in addition to the global cooling that could be coming. Bonds had a slight update today as Fed minutes were released today, showing that the policy is going to stay largely unchanged for now. And the main event for tomorrow will be the House Financial Service Committee hearings of the GameStop fiasco. They're planning to have heads of Citadel, Robinhood, Reddit, and Melvin Capital to testify. And some of them have released their statements early. Keith Gill, who is the Redditor known as the Roaring Kitty, said that he still believes deeply in the fundamental value of the GameStop and that he didn't try to pump shares for his own benefit and that he is still long. Melvin Capital said that they have learned a painful lesson and also insisted that they were not bailed out. And Robinhood, of course, blames their clearinghouse and their deposit requirements. And the main person to testify, of course, is Kenneth Griffin from Citadel, and he hasn't released his statement yet. But his company handled 27% of all day trades last year, and then haven't released their statement yet because they're probably still consulting their SEC officials who are now on their payroll, as well as former Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke, who is now a senior advisor to Citadel. And of course, we all know that US Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen collected more than 800,000 in speaking fees from Citadel. So their bases should be covered. And the hearing will be interesting because, as we all know, Congress really doesn't understand much about finance, and especially about what a short squeeze is, or anything has to do with options or deltas, or anything to do with naked short selling. That was also an issue. Obviously, naked short selling is an illegal practice of selling shares that don't exist and you don't have. It's one of the possible causes of huge fail to deliver that GME had during this whole fiasco. They made it the top 10 SEC fail to deliver list, with certain days having over 2 million shares fail to deliver. So we'll see how this charade with the House interviewing them will proceed. I doubt anything would come out of this. Victor, what do you make of today's price action and Fed and all of it?
I make out that today was a transition day. It ended exactly where it closed yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It tried to deceive everybody by taking a vicious decline from the open to below 3,900. It did that twice. Then it gradually, as of noon, came back above the open and then arabesque to unchanged on the day. In the meanwhile, European stocks were brought up the rear. Everything was deceptive. Everything was designed to shake out the week. I expect a transition day tomorrow, and then we'll have some options regularities on Friday. I went back to reading Atlas Shrugged today because I think it's quite relevant. The Colorado industrialists, these men were responsible for the great prosperity achieved in Colorado. Andrew Stockton runs the country's biggest, most successful foundry. Lawrence Hammond makes superb automobiles. Dwight Sanders, aviation genius. There's Ted Nielsen and Roger Marsh, electrical. A lot of people there like Elon Musk.
Hmm.
But all of the Colorado industrialists were buried under the regulations that Washington put up, and they eventually gave up. I'm watching and thinking about Wolfies very much because I'm very concerned that Florida will be punished for being so successful. It's the nail that sticks out and who gets hammered, or crabs in a bucket. It's a crab trying to get out, being forced down. As Milton Friedman says, we can have a uniform mediocrity and poverty, or we can have
Right.
an unequal plenty. So I think it will be very interesting to see what happens to your state. I'm hoping I can get a good corned beef sandwich on rye before they bury. I noticed that Cuomo is spitting fire. He's under attack by the predators, and he's like the cone snail that tries to spew out poison against his attackers. Everything is ecology. Everything happens in the animal kingdom is now happening in the market. The more woke we are, the reason it went down so much was because we weren't as woke as a person hoped. In the town hall yesterday, Biden was conciliatory towards raising the minimum wage, towards eliminating all school debt, to opening the schools up immediately. He better watch out, because the progressives will leak some more information about all his wrongdoing. The market's exactly unchanged. Where it will go in the next day, I don't know.
Well, what do you mean by a transition day?
Well, we had a very sharp increase from the open, but the close was basically unchanged. I don't know that if we go straight up like we did today, we'll come down. We go down again. We've gone now 2 days without a 20-day high, which has been very bullish. Anyway, one is holding his fire until the market tries to deceive one again. And by fighting back against the deception, you can make a lot of money. But I don't think that's occurred for tomorrow. That's all I have to say.
I have just put up the chart that DeSantis tweeted, the governor of Florida, saying that 34 states had a higher rate of mortality per capita than Florida. And you could see that New York is twice as bad. And yet Florida was open and New York has been closed. So, like you said, now that DeSantis is kind of even flaunting it, and he's outright basically saying that he thinks that the increased death the other states had are resulting from lockdown policies, not from the virus, but from lockdowns. So now he's confronting other states. So maybe you're right, and they will finally do something to stop flying to Florida, or who knows.
Okay, until tomorrow. Thank you very much.